Hey gardening friends, ready to grow healthier plants, bigger harvests, and smarter gardens? Let's get started.
What if the single biggest mistake you have ever made as a gardener happened not in spring, not in winter, but on a quiet August afternoon when you decided the season was over? Welcome to The Smart Gardener, the channel built for people who treat gardening not as a weekend hobby, but as a real skill worth mastering. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that button right now so you never miss what is coming next. Here is the truth most gardeners in America never hear. August is not the finish line. For the growers who actually know what they are doing, August is the starting gun. Right now, while your neighbors are covering their raised beds and putting their tools away, there is a planting window open that most people walk right past without ever knowing it existed. 9 specific crops, plus one secret that almost nobody talks about, can go into your ground this month. And by the time the first hard frost arrives, you will be pulling food out of the soil that is genuinely sweeter, more tender, and more flavorful than anything you grew all summer long. That is not a promise. That is biology. And in the next few minutes, I am going to show you exactly why. Before we get into the crops themselves, let me give you something most gardening channels never share: the actual math behind fall planting. Take your expected first frost date, subtract the days to maturity on your seed packet, then subtract another 14 days on top of that. That final number is your last safe planting date. Those extra 14 days exist because fall crops grow slower as the days shorten, and if you skip that buffer, frost can take your entire harvest the week before it was ready. Missing a week in spring just means harvesting a week late. Missing a week in August means losing the whole crop. And here is the bonus that nobody talks about. A fall garden means up to 90% less insect pressure. By the time your crops are establishing, the squash vine borers, the aphids, the hornworms are done for the year. You are growing in the cleanest conditions of the entire season. Now let us count down. Starting at number 9, and I am going to ask you to set aside everything you think you know about this vegetable. We are talking about the Hakare turnip, a Japanese salad variety that is smooth, white, and so sweet you eat it raw, straight out of the ground, the same way you would eat an apple. When a light frost touches it in fall, that sweetness deepens even further. It matures in just 35 to 55 days, meaning seeds in the ground in early August give you a harvest before Halloween. Direct seed it. Keep moisture consistent at about 1 inch per week, and never let it dry out between waterings, because inconsistent moisture causes the root to crack and turn fibrous inside. For zones 4 through 9, August is your prime window. Zones 8 and 9 can keep planting all the way into October. Number 8 is a pair of greens that most American gardeners overlook entirely, and that is a real mistake. Bok choy and tatsoi are 2 of the fastest adapting, most cold-responsive vegetables you can grow, both maturing in 45 to 60 days, and both tasting dramatically better in cool fall conditions than anything you would grow in summer heat. The technique that separates good fall gardeners from great ones here is succession planting. Instead of sowing one big row all at once, plant a short row, wait 2 weeks, then plant another. That rhythm gives you a steady kitchen supply of fresh greens all the way through December, instead of one overwhelming glut. These greens have shallow roots, so keep watering consistent and light. If the soil surface dries out between waterings, the crispness you are growing them for simply disappears. Number 7 is Swiss chard, and here is the one biological fact that changes everything about this plant. Swiss chard is a biennial. The roots you establish this August will survive underground through winter and push out brand new growth in March or April, giving you a spring harvest next year from the exact same planting you did today. 1 afternoon of work, 2 full seasons of harvest. In zones 7 through 10, established chard frequently survives winter outdoors with no protection at all. In zones 3 through 6, a layer of straw mulch over the crowns or a simple cold frame is all you need, and come spring, you will be harvesting leaves the size of dinner plates at a time when your garden would otherwise be completely empty. Moving right along, because the next 3 crops each have a timing rule that most gardeners get wrong, and getting it wrong means walking away empty-handed at the end of the season. Number 6 is beets. A fresh beet pulled from cold October soil has almost nothing in common with what comes out of a can. Dense, deeply sweet, and earthy, in a way that genuinely surprises people the first time they taste it. And here is what makes beets exceptional. One planting gives you 2 harvests. You get the roots, which store beautifully, and you get the greens, which are some of the most nutritious leafy vegetables in the entire garden. Now here is the timing rule that catches gardeners off guard every single fall. Beets need 8 to 9 weeks before your first frost, not 6, not 7. Plant too late, and the plant skips root development entirely. You get beautiful greens and nothing underground. In zones 4 through 7, your window is the first 2 weeks of August with no exceptions. For variety, Detroit Dark Red is your most reliable performer. Chioggia gives you stunning red and white rings and tastes exceptional raw. And Touchstone Gold is a yellow variety with almost none of the earthiness. Number 5 is lettuce, and here is something worth knowing. Fall lettuce is genuinely better than spring lettuce. In spring, rising heat triggers a hormonal response that sends the plant into bolting, flooding the leaves with bitter compounds right when the head is finally looking good. Fall lettuce has no such pressure. Temperatures are dropping, the plant has nothing to panic about, and it simply grows steadily and sweetly for weeks longer than any spring variety manages. The complication in August is thermal inhibition. When soil temperatures climb above 77 degrees Fahrenheit, lettuce seeds can refuse to germinate entirely. 3 solutions. Sow during the coolest part of the day. Cover the seeded bed with shade cloth and water twice daily. Or start seeds indoors and transplant outside in late August when evenings cool down. That last approach bypasses the problem completely and gives you a first harvest in October that carries through December in zones 5 through 9. Number 4 is the entire cole crop family. Broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kohlrabi. These crops do not merely tolerate cool weather, they require it. And here is the rule that is not optional. In August, these must go in as transplants, not seeds. A freshly sprouted seedling in hot August soil spends its most vulnerable weeks just surviving instead of building roots. A 4 to 6 week old transplant is ready to grow the moment it goes in the ground. If you did not start seeds in July, check your local garden center this week, because quality transplants move fast. Before planting, work 2 to 3 inches of finished compost into your bed and keep soil pH between 6.2 and 6.8. A simple hoop house built from PVC pipe and row cover fabric costs under $20, adds up to 8 degrees of cold night protection, and can extend your harvest by 4 to 6 full weeks. For Brussels sprouts, the deadline is firm. They need 75 to 90 days to mature. Miss mid-August and you will not see a fall harvest. We are in the top 3 now, and this is where the list gets genuinely extraordinary. Number 3 is carrots. A carrot pulled from cold November or December ground is one of the most remarkable things you will ever grow. Here is the science. During the day, the plant photosynthesizes and stores starch in the root. At night, when temperatures drop, cold stress signals the cells to convert that starch into natural sugars, glucose, fructose, and sucrose, which act as the plant's own antifreeze. The result is a root so sweet and tender that no grocery store carrot can come close. Once you grow one this way, you will not settle for anything less. Carrots must be sown directly into loose, rock-free soil at about 1/4 inch deep. Never transplant them. In August heat, seeds can dry out before they sprout, so after sowing, cover the bed with burlap or a flat piece of wood, not black plastic, which traps heat. Check daily, and the moment you see the first pale green threads emerging, pull those covers off immediately. Once established, leave carrots right in the ground through winter under 4 to 6 inches of straw mulch. The cold only makes them sweeter. Gardeners in zones 3 and 4 should harvest before hard freeze and store roots layered in damp sand in a cool space. Number 2 is spinach, and the headline is simple. One afternoon of work in August, plus one simple cold frame over your bed, can give you 6 to 8 months of continuous fresh harvest. Spinach survives air temperatures as low as 15 degrees Fahrenheit with no protection at all. With a cold frame, it handles even harder freezes and keeps producing into late winter. The challenge is germination in August soil. When soil temperatures climb above 75 degrees Fahrenheit, spinach seeds can refuse to sprout entirely. The solution is seed priming. Soak your seeds in room temperature water for 24 hours, then drain them and spread them on paper towels to air dry in the shade for 1 to 2 days. Seal them in an airtight container and refrigerate for up to a week. That cold treatment breaks high temperature dormancy. Plant them immediately after, and your germination rate will be dramatically higher. A single 4 by 8 foot raised bed, harvested from October through March, produces the equivalent of 40 to 60 bags of grocery store baby spinach, worth $250 to $450, from a $3 seed packet. Number 1 is kale, and I want to speak directly to anyone who tried it once, found it bitter, and never went back. The kale you tasted and the kale pulled from a frost-hit plant in late November are not the same vegetable. After the first hard frost around 28 to 29 degrees Fahrenheit, the bitterness retreats completely. The texture softens, the flavor becomes sweet, nutty, and faintly savory, in a way that nothing in the summer garden can match. According to USDA data, 100 grams of fresh kale contains more iron than beef, 2 to 3 times more calcium than milk, and more than twice the vitamin C of an orange. Properly established kale survives down to 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit with no protection. With a row cover, it handles Zone 4 winters. A 20-foot row harvested from October through February represents $150 to $250 worth of fresh produce from a $2 to $3 seed packet. And unlike lettuce, beets, or bok choy, kale tolerates direct seeding or transplanting equally well. It is the most forgiving crop on this entire list. Now, the bonus crop. One that almost no gardening channel connects to fall planting because it runs on a completely different clock: garlic. You plant it in October and harvest it the following June. It takes up no active garden space during your fall harvest season and needs almost no attention through winter. Garlic requires a process called vernalization, meaning 4 to 8 weeks of temperatures below 40 degrees Fahrenheit to develop into full, flavorful bulbs. For zones 3 and 4, plant in September. Zones 5 through 7, plant in October. Zones 8 and 9, plant in November. Plant individual cloves pointed end up, 2 inches deep and 6 inches apart, in well-draining soil with finished compost and a pH between 6.2 and 6.8. Cover with 4 inches of straw mulch after planting to protect through winter. Every clove becomes one full bulb at harvest. A $10 to $15 seed garlic selection produces 40 to 60 bulbs worth $60 to $120 at market prices. No weekly monitoring, no pest management. You plant it, mulch it, and let winter do the rest. Let me bring this all home. 9 crops, plus one secret almost nobody talks about. Hakurei turnips at number 9, sweet and harvest ready before Halloween. Bok choy and tatsoi at number 8. Crisp and flavor-packed as the cold sets in. Swiss chard at number 7. One planting that gives you 2 full seasons of harvest. Beets at number 6. Roots and greens from a single sowing, with timing you cannot afford to get wrong. Lettuce at number 5. Better in fall than spring, once you know how to beat the August heat. The entire cole crop family at number 4, transplanted now before the window closes. Carrots at number 3. Frost-sweetened and unlike anything a grocery store will ever carry. Spinach at number 2, 6 to 8 months of continuous harvest from one afternoon of work. Kale at number 1, the most cold-hardy, the most forgiving, the most dramatically transformed by frost of everything on this list. And garlic as your bonus crop, planted in October, harvested in June, asking almost nothing of you in between. Here is the picture I want you to hold in your mind. A gardener who acts on this today will be standing in their yard in November and December, pulling frost-sweetened kale, lifting cold-ground carrots, cutting fresh spinach, while everyone else on their street is driving to the grocery store for produce picked weeks ago and tasting like it. That is not a hypothetical. That is what happens when you act on good information at the right moment. Drop your USDA hardiness zone in the comments right now and tell me which crop you are planting first. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that button. This channel is here every week, completely free, built for gardeners serious enough to think about their fall garden, while August is still on the calendar. And send this video to one person in your life who gardens in the fall. A neighbor, a family member, A friend who spends money every season on vegetables they could be growing themselves. Send it now, it will change how they garden. The August window is open. It will not stay open. The gardeners who move this week will be harvesting in November. The ones who wait will watch that window close and plan to try again next year. You already have the information. The only thing left is the decision. Make it today.